The cowboy had ridden for 3 days without seeing another soul. Dust clinging to his coat like a second skin, and grief sitting heavier than his saddle. For he was a man running from a past he could not bury, lost land, lost family, lost faith, until the desert finally broke open into a hidden valley where a river shimmered, like liquid silver beneath the sun, so pure and inviting that he dismounted without thinking, unaware that this water was sacred, guarded not by walls or weapons, but by an ancient promise older than any map. And as he stepped into the river and washed the dust from his body, peace washed over him too, until a sudden silence fell so complete it felt like the earth had stopped breathing. And from the trees emerged Apache warriors, silent as shadows, their eyes sharp but not cruel. And at their center stood the Apache chief, tall, weathered, carrying the weight of generations in his gaze, who spoke not in anger but in law, saying with calm authority that this river was bound by oath, that whoever bathed in its waters would marry his daughter, not as punishment but as destiny. And the cowboy laughed at first, thinking it a threat meant to scare trespassers, until the chief called his daughter forward, and the laughter died in his throat. For she stood with quiet strength, eyes steady as the river itself, not pleading, not demanding, but accepting. And the cowboy realized this was no joke, no trap, but a sacred rule held by honor stronger than steel. And he tried to refuse, explaining he was a drifter, a broken man with nothing to offer. Yet the chief replied that the river chose the worthy, not the man, and the tribe gathered in a circle as the sun lowered, sealing a fate the cowboy never sought but could not escape. And as night fell and fires were lit, he felt something unfamiliar stir within him, not fear, but the first fragile thread of belonging he had felt in years. And as the chapter closes, remember this moment, because stories like this remind us that destiny often finds us when we least expect it. And if such stories move your heart, don't forget to subscribe and become part of our growing family. Chapter 2. Days turned into weeks, and the cowboy, now living among the Apache, discovered that marriage in this land was not possession, but responsibility, not command, but balance. And the chief's daughter, wise beyond her years, spoke to him not as a prize to be claimed, but as a partner chosen by fate, teaching him the ways of the river, the meaning of patience, and the power of silence. And though suspicion lingered on both sides, trust slowly replaced it as the cowboy defended the tribe from rival raiders, respected their customs, and learned that strength did not always come from a gun but from keeping one's word. And when the chief fell ill, it was the cowboy who stood guard through the night, refusing rest, earning the respect of the warriors and the quiet gratitude of the woman he was bound to, until one evening by the same sacred river, she asked him why he stayed when he was free to leave. And he realized the answer surprised even himself, that for the first time he was no longer running, that the river had not taken his freedom but given him purpose. And when the chief recovered and saw what the outsider had become, he declared before the tribe that the river had chosen wisely, uniting two worlds not through force but through honor. And the wedding was held beneath the open sky, simple yet powerful, witnessed by ancestors and stars alike. And as the cowboy stood beside his wife, no longer a stranger but a bridge between cultures, he understood that destiny is not about where you are born, but what you choose to protect. And this story, like many others, lives on to remind us that one wrong turn can become the right path. And if you believe in stories that touch the soul, inspire courage, and change lives, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because every new story might just change yours too.